We are live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Adam, and you are watching or listening to the Our Real Addiction podcast. It is going to essentially be a one-topic episode. Outside of the box office, we're just going to be outside of the box office. We're just going to be talking a little bit about Jonathan Majors and the situation. When I say we, me, and kind of where the MCU goes moving forward. But if you haven't already, check out all our previous episodes of the Our Real Addiction podcast. You can find all the videos here on the YouTube channel, and you can find all the links to our previous episodes, the audio versions on in the link down below. If you want to follow our socials, you can also find that in the description below. If you haven't already, check out Movie News Monday, which is releasing just about every other Monday. And check out the previous episodes of TV Inquiry, which is making a return to the Our Real Addiction podcast, our YouTube channel, this Thursday, which is a YouTube exclusive. So go check that out, because if you're listening to this podcast, you're missing out on those extra content, all that extra content here on the YouTube channel. But we're just going to jump right into the box office. Coming in at number 5 is Trolls Trolls Band Together, making $3.9 billion, bringing the grand total up to $183 million. Domestically, it made $89 million, and internationally, it made $94 million. Coming in at number 4 is Godzilla Minus One, making $5 million even, bringing the worldwide total to $64 million, 34 of that being domestic, and 30 of that being international. Coming in at number 3 is The Boy and the Heron, Heron. Heron. I don't know why I cannot pronounce that last name, even though I know what it is. It's a bird. Point is, it's made $112 million worldwide. International, it's made $88 million, and domestically, it's made $24 million. I actually just saw this the other day. I loved it. It was so fantastic. The film was about a young boy named Mahito, and he ventures into the shared universes of the living and the dead, and it's very, very interesting. The cast was absolutely stacked. There was Florence Pugh in there. There was Batista in there. Dave Batista. Robert Pattinson was in there. So was Christian Bale. It was super crazy. William Dafoe, just a lot of people, and Tony Revolori, Gemma Chan and Mark Hamill were both in the film. It was fantastic. The film is so fantastic. I did see it dubbed. I do want to check it out in dubbed, just because I know it's kind of like two different experiences in subbed and dubbed, but I had such a fantastic time watching this film. I can't praise it enough, just because I had a really good time. It was about, I think, it was 2 hours and maybe 10 minutes, but there were times where length did drag on a little bit, but no, I mean, it's an awesome film. I really, really enjoyed it. Everywhere from obviously to Mahito to the dad was pretty interesting, and then even the for those who've seen it, the maids, just super fantastic time I just had watching this film. I do want to see it again in sub, just because I do want to watch the subtitle version, just because I know it's a little bit, like I said, a little bit of a different experience, just because it's two different styles of voice actors and actresses, but it has clearly made a lot of money. I think it said it was that studio's most successful film in America, so congratulations. I forgot the studio of which put it out, but it's done fantastic. So hats off to that film and that studio. Also coming in at number 2 is The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, making $5.8 million, bringing the grand total up to $291 million, 146 of that being domestic and 144 being international. And taking the number one box office spot with no surprise is Timothée Chalamet's new film, Wonka, making $39 million even in its open domestic box office. Since then, it has it has grossed over $150 million, the exact total being $156 million, 43 of that being domestic and 113 of that being international. I haven't had the chance to see this. I really, really do, just because I do like what Timothée Chalamet has been putting out lately. Or I should say the projects that he's been that he's been a part of lately is what I should say. But yeah, I really want to check this out, just because it does look, this version of Wonka does look really, really, really cool. Yeah, I apologize if you can hear the rain. It is raining outside, but no, yeah. We're just gonna move right on into the topic of the day, which, if you were on any social media on Monday, you heard that Marvel Studios did drop Jonathan Majors, aka King the Conqueror, from obviously the MCU, following his verdict of harassment and assault. So I'm just gonna read out of an online article from Variety written by Adam Very. So Marvel Studios has parted ways with Jonathan Majors, the actor cast to play Kang, the central antagonist in the multiverse saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, after he was convicted on December 18th of 2 misdemeanor counts of harassment and assault of Grace Jabbari, his ex-girlfriend. A source close to the studio confirmed the decision to Variety. In the verdict, Majors was also found not guilty of one of the counts of intentional assault in the 3rd degree and one count of aggravated assault in the 2nd degree. The actor was arrested on March 25th on assault and harassment charges after Jabbari accused Majors of assaulting her in the back seat of a private car after she took his phone to read text messages he had received from another woman. Sorry, 1 second. Trying to find my place, lost it really quickly. So Grace alleged that Majors forcibly retrieved the phone from her, causing an excruciating injury to her right middle finger. And when she exited the car, Majors hit her on the back of the head and then tried to force her back into the car, causing a cut behind her right ear. The 34-year-old actor denied the assault. That he assaulted Grace. His defense team has alleged that she was the aggressor when she took his phone. During the nearly 2-week trial, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office released several of disturbing text messages between Majors and Jabbari and an audio recording that has been used as evidence, including messages in which Majors seemingly attempted to persuade Grace against going to the hospital following a head injury, and a message in which Majors threatened suicide. In an audio recording, Majors tells Grace that she needs to act like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama because he's a great man and who has been doing great things not just for me but for the culture and for the world. Since his arrest, Majors has been dropped by his talent manager, Entertainment 360, and his publicity firm, The Lead Company. He's no longer involved with the Protagonist Pictures film Man in the Basement. The U.S. Army also pulled a major ad campaign featuring Majors, as did the Texas Rangers baseball team. Several other projects involving Majors, including Spike Lee's The Understudy for Amazon and the Dennis Rodman film 48 Hours in Vegas for Lionsgate, remain in limbo. But Marvel's decision to sever ties with the actor registers as the most high professional consequence of Majors' arrest and now conviction to date. His first played version of the multiverse hopping villain Kang in the season finale of 2001's Disney Plus series Loki, an episode that established the primary storytelling engine for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, moving forward, and Major's character as a pivotal figure at the heart of it. Marvel establishes boundless versions of Kangs across the multiverse. Major was meant to embody all of them, a premise that was first explored in Marvel's February release, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The actor subsequently played a variant of Kang named Victor Timely in season 2 of Loki, which streamed on Disney Plus this fall. Production on the series concluded months before his arrest. Majors was next set to headline the first part of a climactic conclusion to the the multiverse saga Avengers Kang Dynasty, which was originally expected to start shooting in early 2024. In June, Marvel pushed the film back from 2025 to 2026. Variety has reported that the Marvel executives led by the studio Chief Kevin Feige discussed the possibility of having to pivot away from Kang to focus on another major villain. Now with Major's departure official, Feige and his team have had some formidable creative decisions ahead, including whether to recast a new actor as Kang or cancel the Kang Dynasty outright and reconfigure the remainder of the multiverse saga. In the interconnected nature of this Marvel Cinematic Universe means that whatever Marvel decides to do can have some pricey repercussions at a time when the parent company Disney has entered a far more cost-conscious era. The career fallout of Majors could be even more severe. He began 2023 as one of the most in-demand actors in the industry, co-headlining Creed 3 with Michael B. Jordan and earning a wide acclaim out of the Sundance Film Festival for his performance in the bodybuilding drama magazine Dreams. Starlight Pictures, another Disney subsidiary, picked up the latter film as a prospective award contender for the release in December. But the company quietly pulled the film from its calendar in October. It does not yet have a release date. I'm not going to talk anything about the trial and anything of right and wrong. It's clear what he did is wrong. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think the biggest thing is the MCU. How does it move forward? Mainly because we heard reports like this. We heard reports that the trial going on was causing Marvel to kind of proceed with caution, in the sense of they thought they were like, hey, we're going to start moving away from Kang. And they referenced that in this article. And especially with the ending of Loki season 2, it does kind of definitely feel that way, that they are kind of moving in a different direction in terms of a big bad, a villain in the MCU. And this is something even I said when these reports came up, is that in regarding to the Avengers Kang Dynasty, with Jonathan Majors officially dropped from Marvel Studios and no longer playing Kang the Conqueror in the MCU, what are the odds that this film kind of gets rebranded into a different Avengers film? And there were reports, there were rumors circulating online that the film was now officially no longer, officially unofficial, no longer Avengers the Kang Dynasty, but being referred to as Avengers 5 without a title, which is very, very interesting. And one of the things I had thought was like, hey, this film could, with Avengers the Kang Dynasty possibly actually dropping the term Kang Dynasty, what are the odds that the film does get rebranded into the New Avengers or the Young Avengers? We do have a lot of Young Avengers out there. We've seen Kid Loki in the Loki TV series. We saw, obviously, Kamala Khan tease that she was going to find younger Avengers or younger superheroes who are closer to her age at the end of the Marvels. We did see her team up with Kate Bishop, played by by Haley Steinfeld. We also know that Wanda's imaginary children are also out there in another universe that we can see those two heroes come out. They also have introduced the X-Men, which is a possibility. They could be playing younger versions of themselves. It's just there. This is all speculation at this point, and it's very, very interesting to see how they're going to handle the absence of Jonathan Majors. In all honesty, me personally, I think just recast him. If you're not going to have him be the center focal right now of the MCU, recast him, because if you want to go back to Kang, you can reintroduce Kang as as with a different actor. I think that would be perfect, especially with, I mean, who were they going to realistically, cast at this point, in my opinion? Like, it's just like, I feel like the state that Marvel Studios is in, where it's not really feeling like, hey, there are a lot of excitement for the MCU right now. I feel like a lot of people aren't going to really be wanting to take a job in the MCU, despite the rumors of Ryan Gosling being part of it in an undisclosed film. I feel like that's a little different to want to take a possible center focus of a big future bad in the MCU. Then I feel like that's a little more concerning, just because you are solely relying on somebody who is going to have to carry the MCU in that sense. It's a little different. Like, with Jonathan Majors, they were hyping this up with him, and they were showing us there are a bunch of Kangs out there. There's the Kang, the Council of Kangs, and even we saw the Kang the Conqueror. We saw the one above all, or the one beyond all. I forget the official name. We saw Victor Timely. These are all different variants of Kang that we know that are out there, and we know the TVA is going out and hunting them. At some point, the Kang dynasty could eventually become an issue, to where it is. Where the Avengers Kang Dynasty is eventually a film that comes out at a later date. You can still do the Kang Dynasty if you recast and you choose to just go in a different direction. I don't think that's necessarily much of an issue. I don't think Avengers 5 should be the Kang Dynasty, because it's going to be hard to recast somebody in the film playing the big bad and kind of being convinced that this is the guy that was in the last films. And don't get me wrong, they kind of did make a little bit of a joke out of Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And I mean, obviously he was a lot better in the Loki TV series, but it's going to be hard to say, hey, this recasted actor is our Kang now, and he is headlining the movie. That's a hard thing to ask from some of an actor, and that's a hard thing to expect audiences to kind of sit okay with that. Retitle Avengers or rebrand Avengers 5 into either the Young Avengers or the New Avengers. This film is coming out still in 2 years. They pushed it back 2 years. That's fine. Rewrite the script the rest of 2024 and set to shoot in 2025. It's simple as that. I mean, obviously it's not as simple as that, but I'm sure there are already scripts for a Young Avengers or a New Avengers film. It is not that easy, or it's not that hard. Honestly, in my opinion, because we don't know the status of the Avengers, maybe we should do the New Avengers, just because. Let's find out let's just bring our heroes back together for some sort of like Age of Ultron style event, where the stakes don't feel the biggest, but they do feel bigger than just a solo film. And we have to bring all our heroes back together. Just, our Avengers that we do already know and love, and our new Avengers, and bring them to, create this new team of Avengers, the next Avengers. I know we kind of had a little iterations or smaller styles of the next Avengers style films, in terms of when we got Civil War, there was kind of like the next Avengers versus more or less of the older heads, or the new Avengers, but like, let's see. I think that would be cool. Let's do next Avengers or let's do Young Avengers, just because we already know they're already out there. Everybody has had a story. We got to at some point bring back Sam Wilson. I know he's going to be in the Thunderbolts. We know he's getting a Captain America film, but we need to see him interacting with the Avengers. At this point, the MCU is too big not to incorporate everybody, or excuse me, not to not incorporate everybody, but to not incorporate at least 1 to 2 characters in a film. We need to start seeing interconnectedness where Avengers are popping up in films. This is no longer a single shared universe. Perfect example was the Marvels. Another perfect example, obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, a little different, but because they're off doing their own thing out in space. But the Guardians were in Thor. So it's just like we need to continue having this connectedness so it starts to feel like there is a interconnected MCU, because that's something that is so desperately lacking. And it's just like Shang-Chi, this is somebody who we're waiting for a desperate return on after a successful movie in theaters. It's just like I want to see him interacting with Avengers in a Avengers level threat. He is an Avengers level hero now. That's what they elevated him to. I want to see all these characters. It's just like even Yelena come back. It's just like let's see everybody come back in for an Avengers, a next Avengers film. I think that's what would probably sit best. See who, it's just like, obviously everybody, I'm pretty sure a lot of the actors that would have to be involved already have contract obligations to Disney and Marvel. You have to do what you have to do for the studio, what's best for the studio. So it's just like, I say, let's push. I'd say Marvel Studios needs to push the Kang Dynasty to the side and rebrand the film as either the next Avengers or the Young Avengers. I think that is the best bet for Marvel, just because there's a lot going on. Jonathan Majors is no longer a thing and is no longer an actor involved at Marvel Studios anymore. Recast him, do Kang Dynasty years down the road. It does not have to be in front of Avengers Secret Wars. At this point, I could see Avengers Secret Wars being delayed even more, just because Kang was rumored to be a big part of that film. It's just hard to believe that Jonathan Majors doesn't have an outlasting impact on the MCU, considering the next two big Avengers films, or the next two Avenger films, were meant to really have him as a center focal, despite them saying, hey, we're moving off of the Kang Dynasty. So I think that's really going to do it for this episode. As always, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Again, if you are listening, check out the video versions, because we do have we do have TV Inquiry and Movie News Monday here exclusively on the YouTube channel. So check it out. We'd suggest, hey, just, watching a couple of videos, because we do have the return of Movie News Monday TV Inquiry this Thursday. So check that out, everybody. As always, I'm Adam, and Sig Parvis Magnet, everybody.